Welcome, everybody, to the special Wednesday edition of the Life of Dad show called Lunch Break Life of Dad. It's where we basically shoot the breeze. I say that we dominate lunch break talk like no other couple of dads do. So I'm here, Jon Finkel, with me, my host, Art Eddy. Follow him at Art Eddy3. How are you, buddy?
Doing well, man. You're looking very dapper. We always, the work-life balance, right? You usually have the show at 1, but you were doing something at your son's school. So I love the fact that here at Life of Dad, we're easy breezy, man. And I love the fact that we can kind of balance work and family in the best way possible,
Yeah, I had a meeting earlier in the morning where I had to look more presentable than basketball shorts and a t-shirt, and then I had to go right from that to the school, and then I just in for the show. And of course, the reason I want to do this is one of my favorite topics. Sandwiches, but before we get to that, what is the show brought to you by, Mr. Eddy?
Yeah, the show is brought to you by the Life of Dad book, written by yours truly, John and I. Got a lot of cool endorsements from Jim Kelly, Chef Robert Irvine, Mark Cuban, a lot of great dads in here just sharing dad wisdom. And it's great. It's going to come out May 7th. You can order it, pre-order it right now. Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble. We really appreciate it. As we say, we give a lot of cool free content. We'd love for you to help us out with this. So please pick it up today. Comes out a day after my birthday. So it's like saying, hey, happy birthday, Art. And John a little bit because you're purchasing this book. And we got to say to our good friend, Rand, what up, man?
Yes, always one of the first to chime in. We appreciate it. So, buy the book, pre-order it. It's we've been working with Amazon, and so for the next short time being, it's going to be 20% off. So if you're listening and you're watching and you're thinking, man, I love these guys. I wish I could do something for them. How can I show them my appreciation for the show that they do? It's very simple. Just go to Amazon, pre-order the book. It'll show up. You can get one for you. Send it to your father, your father-in-law, your brother who's a dad, anybody who's about to be a dad, they're going to love it. So that is what we hope you do. But the topic of today, sandwiches, specifically our favorite sandwiches, our kids' favorite sandwiches, their least favorite sandwiches maybe you don't even understand. I have my top 5 sandwiches. I'm sure Art has his top list of sandwiches. But for the sake of starting the conversation, how often do you think you actually sit down and have like a nice sandwich like for lunch during the given week? Like, because people have salads now, or they go out and get a burger or whatever. I mean, like a nice deli sandwich that you love.
Okay, now you talking about, and I'm sharing this on a couple of Life of Dad Facebook groups just so they can join in on the conversation as well. Now, are you talking about like you go to a deli and get something, or are you talking about like you make it for your own?
Well, we can do two. We can do it one where how often do you have enough lunch meat, or we'll put peanut butter and jelly aside because it's easy. Everybody has peanut butter and jelly. But how often do you make yourself a nice, beautiful, stacked deli sandwich? Or anything. It could be like a chicken parm sandwich, whatever you're going to make.
Oh, okay. Now you're talking a little bit. So here's the thing, man. For me, I can't do cold cuts, man. I can't do cold sandwiches. It's not my style. Like when we we get subs, I gotta find like a hot sub, or I gotta ask them if they can like warm up the meat. I don't know, man. And I know it's like cold deli meat, and like for me, it can't happen. So it's usually like I'll take ham and pepperoni, put it in the microwave a little bit, not to burn it, but just get it warm, have a cheese melt on it. And that's kind of few and far between because back in the day, like when it was just my wife and I, we ate more sandwiches because I would bring them to work because before I started here at Life of Dad, I would, go out into the office and I'd bring a sandwich and all that good stuff. And I would warm it. I'd put it in, a foil. I'd warm it up and then, put it in my lunch bag and go. So it's always got to be that warm type of thing. Peanut butter and jelly, yes, I like the crunchy over the smooth. But again, like having kids and like they don't want like they either want like chicken noodle soup in a thermos, or I made my oldest like a meatball parms like burger sandwich type of thing. They don't want deli meat, and my wife really doesn't eat deli meat anymore because she's eating this other stuff. So I'm like, it's not in there, and I don't want to buy like a pound of ham and then it just sits there, and after a week it gets all slimy. And I'm like, great, I just spent $10 that no one ate on, right? So that's my conundrum, man. But I do have, a BLT. Like I'll sometimes make BLTs for the family. I won't do the microwave stuff. I'll actually, cook legit bacon.
Yeah.
And it goes BLT, then pickles and mustard.
Wow, that's quite a pregnant woman sandwich right there.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, after I give you my whole neurosis on sandwich, just go ahead, man.
Yeah, I think I am far more lax with you than you. I will eat any sandwich almost. I will turn anything into a sandwich. I will eat any sandwich. I will take any lunch meat. We have several lunch meats around the house. Yeah, bro, bread is huge. So one of the things, if you don't have like the most amazing bread, obviously grilling it, putting it in a toast always makes even mediocre bread with a crunchy texture is always good. But typically what I'll do is I'll go like, if I know we're going to be, like before the weekend, like maybe Saturday morning or something, if we're out and about, I'll go and get half pound of turkey, half pound of ham, maybe. The only one of those the only lunch meat that I'll get that I will only eat the day that we slice it up is roast beef. I think roast beef, for whatever reason, even day two, it just doesn't taste nearly as good, especially if it's like an Angus roast beef or one of those kind of things. I love toasting my sandwiches. I'm okay with a cold sub. I'm not a cold sub fear boy like you. I'm not afraid of the cold meat. But
I'm not afraid of it. I just don't like the taste of it. I like things hot.
You're afraid of cold meat.
I don't like things cold, man. No, and even like bread, it needs to be toasted as well, man. Toast that stuff.
I agree. I would much prefer a toasted sandwich. So I like any of the lunch meats that I just mentioned with toast, with cheese, and I think the orders is the bread is important, the kind of cheese is important. So many people, it's like every cheese is American cheese, and it's like, well, yeah, turkey and American, like, all right, well, maybe not. But now if you're talking like turkey, a little bacon, some Munster, maybe some honey mustard. Like now you're talking about putting a bunch of different flavors together. I think so many people get lazy on their sandwiches and just throw a slice of American cheese on there for no reason. And so when I look at it, I want like hard flavors. I like a sharp cheddar with a roast beef, or, if you're going to have if you're going to put together a grilled sandwich, like you can get like a good shredded mozzarella to put on there instead of just like a slice of something. So I'm very fond of that. And to what you were saying before, like, to me, there's the lunch meat segment of all this, and then there's like, you can put tuna in that version of it too, kind of in the lunch meat segment, even though it's obviously not a lunch meat, and chicken salad and all that kind of stuff. But then there's like meatball parm and eggplant parm and, cheese steaks. Like, I don't know, where do you rate those? Are those in the same category? It sounds like for you, they're totally different kinds of food.
No, going back to the deli meats, like I love, I wasn't really into it until my wife got me into like the open face sandwiches, like, right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And for me, like I need, I love like, what was it? Boston Market, man. Those ham sandwiches.
Is that place still open? I used to like Boston Market a lot. I haven't seen one in like 10 years.
There is one in like the next town over here. And like we have, and as I say, like, oh, I love those sandwiches. Have I gone once? No, because no one else wants to go. Because I love, like, they had this ham and cheddar sandwich that was like the bomb, man. And I think I asked the bomb. Like, we're talking about 90s stuff recently, so that's why I'm saying the bomb and whatever. But I need to actually probably tomorrow I'm gonna go there for lunch just because I'm digging those sandwiches. I mean, those type of sandwiches when it's like the actual like turkey meat, it's not like the. Oh man, I am such a picky sandwich eater now that I'm like trying to break this.
You want like roasted turkey that you might eat for Thanksgiving, that sliced up, not like boar's head, honey turkey or something like that.
Yeah, but like that stuff could work depending on, because this is gonna sound weird. Maybe it's not to you, but like, God, I'm so neurotic with these sandwiches. I feel like
you definitely are.
I feel like certain brands of like deli meat are legit, and then other ones I feel like it's some sort of contrived like cardboard or plastic mixture. I'm like, what am I eating here?
You're talking about okay. So low quality deli meats are disgusting, right? Like the pre-sliced, pre-packaged. I think we can all agree, everybody watching this, like low quality deli meat, low quality cheese is the worst. Richard was just asking, what's American cheese? It's usually like a Kraft Singles. They do have like better versions of American cheese, but they're not very they don't have like a huge flavor profile to use that. Like American cheeses are pretty basic kind of cheeses. And so when you're talking about making the sandwiches, you want a boar's head if you can, which I think everybody likes. And I know there's other brands, Primo Taglio and others that people like. So you're talking about a higher level. You're not just getting yeah, well, it's a nice lunch meat brand there. So you're talking about a good quality meat. So I agree with you. There are times where you go, someone has like a crappy, spread somewhere or a company, or you're at some event and you're like, this is the worst piece of, pre-cut ham of all time. Yeah, 2 or 3 slices of cheese. So I think Kingbird said earlier, is he the only one who leaves a grocery store or a deli aisle with multiple cheeses? And no, I always do that. I'll get like a sharp cheddar, maybe like a Gouda if they have it. I like Gruyere cheese on sandwiches a lot, like a really good Havarti cheese. There's a cheddar cheese that one of the places by us, I don't know anyone who lives near, if they live near a Central Market, it's called the Big Red One. And it's just a big, thick block of cheese. And it's like really sharp cheddar. It melts like really gooey. It's good for burgers. It's good on roast beef. It's good on omelets, actually. They're awesome.
All right, here's another one. Devin, my man pans right here. Put pizza sauce, cheese, and pepperoni in a flat tortilla and roll it up. So that's another thing with deli meat, man. Like they love like this different type of like menu. It's like the what is the In-N-Out burger, like the animal style, like there's like the hidden menus. Like I feel like I'm like the hidden menu for them. It's like, hey, can we have this? Can we have that? It's like, yeah, sure. I've been trying to find it. I love paninis because obviously it's a warm thing, but my roommate in college, one of them had like this device, and it was like a sandwich like presser, but it wasn't a panini thing. It was like you could just it'd be for 2 sandwiches, and I would always put marinara sauce, pepperoni, mozzarella cheese, and just eat it. And that was like a cool hot pocket.
Yeah,
but it was something I made, man. That right there, it just kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, the funny thing about like there's like the George Foreman grills people can use to toast their sandwiches on, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like then there's like the salami and prosciutto, and there's so many different kinds of lunch meat that you can end up choosing from. And when you end up like getting into that rut where you feel like you're getting the same lunch meat all the time, it's always good to try a different one or grill some chicken and slice chicken up. And I don't know, I feel like sandwiches for me are almost the exact same way to go. With like, for me, I like sandwiches for breakfast. I like breakfast sandwiches. Like I love putting an egg and cheese, ham, egg and cheese. Where I don't know, people are listening from all over, but if they're from the New York, New Jersey area, like the Taylor ham pork roll, egg and cheese is. If I had to pick like one sandwich, it would be from one of my favorite delis in New Jersey, a Taylor ham, egg and cheese, like double Taylor ham, double egg, double cheese on a massive hard roll with salt, pepper, ketchup. Like that's probably my favorite sandwich of all time. It weighs like 3 pounds.
My wife and my daughters are big pork roll and Taylor ham type of thing. I don't like it. I don't like Taylor ham, but when you mention that, the only sandwiches that I make, especially for myself here, because when I'm just by myself, is like a sausage, egg, and cheese on like either a bagel or Italian bread or something along those lines. That's my go-to because we always have eggs in the house. And yes, I think they have a longer expiration date than deli meat. So those are the things I go to right away. I like have an apple with it, have a nice like glass of milk or water or something, and I'm good to go, man. It's like such like
the key to buying deli meat is to always buy too little. For some reason, like one of the biggest reasons I think that people have where they stop eating a lot of it, obviously that's health-wise, there's a lot of sodium, nitrates, and like deli meat isn't that great for you to have like every day. But most people kind of bail on it because they always end up throwing a bunch of it away. And it's because you always buy a pound of deli meat, even if no matter what size of your family, no matter what happens, you just figure you'll keep it in the fridge and you only eat it the first day, most likely, right?
Because it's always like if you buy it on a Saturday or Sunday, that's the only day you're gonna eat it. And if you're like, you know what, I'll just take a third pound, and they put they put that on and they put it on the scale, and you're like, yeah, it's not enough. I'll do a half a pound.
Yeah.
No, I think we need a pound. And then you're like, why the hell did I do that?
Yeah, and I do the same thing. Like when I make a good solid sandwich, it usually has probably like a third of a pound of meat on it. Like so, when I'm going to get something, I know that the rest of the family's probably going to have it. I'll get like 3/4 of a pound seems to be the good amount, because my kids, a sandwich for my kid will be like a slice, right? And there's more bread and cheese than anything else, and my daughters too. And my wife barely, every now and then she'll make some like turkey roll-ups and dip it in hummus, which is, not even food basically. But
your wife's on the hummus thing too, right?
Yeah, they roll it up in hummus, and I'm like, I know a good amount about this stuff. Like the hummus is basically bread. I mean, it's not bread, but it's, you're not getting like nothing out of it. You're dipping it in something. You might as well get some solid, carbs out of it. If you're trying to avoid carbs completely, fine. But the rolled up hummus, I don't even know where it is. I've done it before too, where like, oh, the bread, there's only enough bread for maybe the kids, or like I forgot to get bread, or I forgot to get bread, and I'll just make some roll-ups, but I'm gonna dip them in like mayonnaise, ranch dressing. The hummus there's no added benefit. It's not like hummus is pure awesome protein or anything.
Oh, I love it. Here's another thing, Sean Hammer, man. That sounds like a wrestler name, or it sounds like an action hero.
Sean the Hammer Valentine.
Yeah, Sean Hammer says the best sandwich is Cheese Whiz and pepperoni. So I remember one of the things growing up, like back when I was in Buffalo, when we'd have family come over, we take those like little like miniature rye bread or pumpernickel, like they look like mini slices of bread, right? And then they'd put like warm cheese and a pepperoni and keep on a hot plate. Dude, I couldn't eat those things quick enough.
Yeah, cheese whiz and pepperoni, as Sean's saying, is really good. Yeah, anything warmed up is it's always better when the cheese is melty and gooey. But the problem is you have to eat it at like that right temperature where it's still gooey before it starts to like kind of harden a little bit.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You feel my pickiness on here, man.
I'm saying that if you're going to heat it up, there's a temperature range for it. You're saying that you won't deign to eat something if it's not the right temperature. It's got to be at a specific. What is it, like anything below 80 Fahrenheit just will not be on your palate range.
Here's the thing. It's like I love cold temps outside, but and I'm still wearing shorts all year round, even if I was living in New Hampshire. But I don't like cold meats, man. I need some warm meats.
Yeah, I hear you, man. People like, this is a good sandwich. Brandon King sharing Applewood smoked Gouda on a panini with bacon, roast beef curry. Yeah, see, paninis under-deliver for me as a sandwich. I think
you're not eating the right places, man.
No, I don't like the bread of a panini. Like if they grill it and like smash it, where they do a lot of times, like almost like a Cuban, like I'm good with that. But general like panini rolls, I'm not 100% into those. I would rather have like a good hard roll or a sourdough or like a really fresh Kaiser roll or something like that. I don't know. The paninis.
Kaiser roll, man. Oof, those. Yeah. I mean, I know I'm never, ever going to probably get a six-pack because I love bread way too much.
Yeah, it's true. The bread's good. And thank you, Sean. I've spent a good deal of my time when I'm thinking about food, thinking about deli meat and sandwiches, because it's absolutely – they're the perfect food. They're always good. And if you're ever thinking to yourself about like, man, what meal can I make myself that I'm going to like? You've got every spread imaginable: ranch dressing, honey mustard, Caesar, Thousand Island, mayo, whatever you want. It makes every meat it's like every combination possible.
My man Kingbird, what happened? I'm very particular and stuff. I got my meats and sandwiches on lockdown. Come on.
Breakfast sandwiches, I agree, Sean. So the problem with bagel, so when I grew up, the bagel, like a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese on an egg bagel in New Jersey was my favorite thing. I like them on hard rolls too. As I got older, I liked them on that. If you were where I grew up in the New York, New Jersey area, yes, bagels, 100%. But where I live in Dallas, there isn't a decent bagel inside of 1,000 miles of this place. So I've kind of, unless I'm even we go to visit Florida, there's some good bagel places, but I kind of just let it out of my mental palate for me, these bagels. I mean, people here, they're like, oh, I went to Einstein's and the bagels were so. Have you had that one? And I'm like, if you're bringing up Einstein's Bagels as a place that has good bagels, that's like when you're saying like, no. Number one pizza, I don't care what you say, Domino's. It's like, great, Domino's fits its own thing, but even Domino's doesn't say they're the number one pizza,
True. No, true. Yeah. So like, Yeah, bagels are legit, man. Like you can't mess around with like a good bagel, especially down here in North Carolina. I have a couple people that had a place up in New York and New Jersey, and they have like water shipped down for their bagels, and some of them are like legit. And
Yeah,
like,
there's a place called Brooklyn Bagels that does that. That does that in Florida. They're a chain down there. Here's a sandwich that's for breakfast. Since we're talking about breakfast sandwich, that I don't think I invented it, but I haven't seen too many people do it. But I've made it. My brother and I used to make them all the time, and I make them for my kids sometimes. It's an Eggo, egg and cheese. So it's 2 Eggo waffles, an egg, and cheese. Pick whatever cheese you want. And the waffles well, people have heard of waffle sandwiches, but you have Eggos around the house, whatever waffle you have. It's really, really good.
Did McDonald's steal your thing, man, with the McGriddles?
McGriddles, kind of. McGriddles, by the way, I mean, people can knock a lot of things, but if you're starving or perhaps you went out a little bit the night before too much and you wake up and you're just needing something that's going to just be a gut like bomb, but also like kind of have grease, the McGriddle, it's hard to beat the McGriddle. That's not a bad sandwich at all.
Here's a fun fact. I've never had a McGriddle.
Wow. They're like this big and they weigh like a pound because it's just all saturated fat and little maple syrup pockets. I haven't had one in probably, it's got to be 3 or 4 years, maybe more. But the few times that I've had them, you're out like on a guy's trip or you're about to go golfing after being out the night before and you're just driving to the course and you're like, I need something that's going to last and hold me over. And you get 2 McGriddles, you're set.
Love it. Talk about your top 5, man.
So my number 5, and it's hard to do right. Thank you, Heather. I'm glad we've given you a little bit of a little dose into what we talk about because this is true. So number 5 is it's a perfect like roast beef and Havarti like toasted but the roast beef has to be really good roast beef. I've found no lunch meat is more hit or miss than roast beef. Like I've gone to the same grocery store and I'll get the same thing. I think I'm getting the same thing and I'll get home and be like, what is this crap? Like for some reason, roast beef is either amazing and like juicy and like pink, or just disgusting. That's my
now. Here's the thing though, too. Like I've been to the point where you buy the same brand, but like the different week, and it could be messed up and different, right?
Yeah, I've tried. Like I think I know what I want now. Like it's the black. I know the brand. Like I know the kind that I want. And for whatever reason, the roast beef people have never been able to figure out consistency. So I don't know that. Then my 4th one is I'm not giving specific places because then you just kind of get all snobby, like, oh, the diner in Hoboken had but there was a diner in Hoboken that had like the best chicken salad sandwich with bacon.
I'm not gonna name drop, but I'm gonna name drop.
I'm not gonna say the name of the place, but an amazing chicken salad, like huge chicken salad on rye with like thick cut that bacon, like applewood smoked bacon on there. Cheese melted on it, like a good chicken salad. I like chicken salad better than tuna salad, but I will eat tuna salad by any chance. That's my number 4. Number 3 is probably a surprise for most people for me, but like a really good high level grilled cheese. Like if you there's places that are just grilled cheese places now, and some of them are okay, and I know they're popping up everywhere, and some of them are really good. However, if you get one right where it's like a sourdough, you know what I mean? Like a crispy sourdough with high, like a good butter on it. And you can pick whatever you want. Some people like ham or bacon or roast beef or turkey or whatever it is. The grilled cheese, right, and what Dad or Live did, what he just said, with a side of tomato soup to dip it in. When done right, I'm putting it at 3, but when it's right, especially on a cold day, you could convince me that it's a number 1.
Is it weird that I don't like grilled cheese sandwiches but love cheese quesadillas?
No, I mean, yeah, it is weird because the best parts of both of those are the cheese. It's like if you love cheese quesadillas, like you're probably not loving them because the tortilla was so amazing, or like that's very rarely that you're like, oh, the flour tortilla or the corn tortilla was just so heavenly.
You know what I love though? Like whether it's like if I'm making grilled cheese for my daughters or quesadilla for myself, like when that cheese gets up on the stovetop and it's like it just gets solidifies and warms up and you eat it. It's like it tastes like the ultimate Cheez-It.
Yeah. I think part of that is the kind of cheese that you get, like this one I was telling you about, this big red one cheese. Like if you get that and you cut it thick, like a good half-inch thick, it doesn't taste like that. Like, and if you sprinkle some basil in there, like you got to season it like you're seasoning anything. That would be the way I would go. That's what we're here for. Where was I at?
No, I think he was spitting his water out on my response about like my weird stuff on sandwiches and roll-ups and all of those stuff.
Your neurosis.
What's number two?
Number two. Since I went with the ham and cheese on the other one. Number two is very rare, and I don't get them very often because they're hard to eat. But like a giant like pastrami corned beef sandwich, like a good New York deli. Not like a Jerry's Deli. I know you're not into this because it's a cold meat, so I don't want to scare you. But that's pretty awesome. And then number one for me, which I wrote a whole piece on yesterday growing up, a chicken cordon bleu sandwich, but a real. I know most places, and I'll post a link to it if anybody wants to read it. But I've always done research on it. When I grew up, the chicken cordon bleu sandwich I ate had chicken cordon bleu, which was some grilled chicken or roasted breaded chicken patties. Sorry, so breaded chicken patties, some provolone. Breaded chicken patties, prosciutto, and like Gruyere cheese with a little bit of had honey mustard or some kind of sweet tangy sauce. That was what I grew up eating. But ever since I kind of left the Northeast, the one that you get when you get a chicken cordon bleu is essentially chicken, ham, and cheese, and it's a hot sub, so you could hot sandwich, so you could weigh in on this. But when it's done right, a chicken cordon bleu for me is number one.
Nice. I'm not a Swiss cheese person. I like Swiss beets, but I don't like Swiss cheese. But I can always, mess up some cheese around. I'm going to give you, I love the list. And yeah, people check out, put the link in when you go back. When John goes back, he's going to put a link up to his website where he has the thing on the sandwich. My sandwiches throughout I guess, like when I was a kid, my grandmother used to make me, this is when I was living in Buffalo. My grandmother would make me like toast rye and then butter on it, and then warm up some salami. I would eat that.
All right.
Then I moved on to like peanut butter, but then like I seriously fell in love with crunchy peanut butter because it was like everybody else in my family, they love like the smooth, but like there's a certain day where my mom, like a certain week of grocery shopping, she would have like the crunchy or the chunky for me. Loved it. And then it went into like warming up sandwiches or getting sandwiches in high school and stuff like that. And then now it's evolved, especially like we were talking about the sausage, egg, and cheese. So, but they're all warm sandwiches for the most part. So
that's fine. And also, don't forget about a nice mutton, lettuce, and tomato where the mutton is real lean. Remember from Princess Bride?
Awesome. Great show, guys. Thanks for checking out the show. Now you know John's firm stance.
Send me your deli meat questions.
And how crazy I am and erotic when it comes to sandwiches as well. As always, the show is being brought to you by the Life of Dad book. In here, a lot of great stuff for dads and parents and just people in general. It's a great read. You guys will enjoy it. Shout out to Aaron from the Daddy Files. He's checking out the book right now. I just sent a book out to my boy Sean Jensen, who's written a bunch of books like Middle School Rules with like Brian Urlacher and Charles Tillman. But he wants to check it out too. Yeah, so people, check out the book. We appreciate it. Pre-order Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. We're going to say this till we're blue in the face. But for my man John and myself, we'll see you all next week. We have some good show topics. You want to kind of give them the topic, what we're going to be talking about on Monday?
Monday is that the school projects that parents do just so that they think they're awesome. And the kids are like, oh, did you see so-and-so's? And you're like, yeah, well, the mom or dad did it till midnight and didn't make you do anything. So yeah. we'll have that one. Thank you. I appreciate it on the book.
Yeah, and check out Dad or Alive, Adrian Culp's book too as well. We gotta give him the love. He's got a great book out there as well. But thanks for checking out the show. You guys have a good rest of the week. Have a safe and fun weekend. We'll see you all Monday. Peace.